inauguration of HOF University Germany satellite center here at Vishwakarma University, Pune. This satellite center is emblematic of the strong academic bond that Vishwakarma University and HOF University share.
Honorable Mr. Clement, Consul General, Consulate of Germany in India, Mr. Adeshna, President Lehman, Mr. Bartway, all dignitaries from HOF University, and my fellow colleagues from Vishwakarma University. A very warm welcome to all of you for today's important event. First and foremost, we are thankful to you, sir, for sparing your time to come and do this inauguration of the satellite center that we are having over today. Vishwakarma University, established in 2017, has had a longer history with HOF University through our other institutes, primarily VIT and VIIT. I have heard a number of students from our group have visited HOF for 6 months, 3 months, 2 months internship programs, and they have immensely benefited out of the various learnings they have had from the university. In fact, I should mention over here that while there is a screening process for students to go to HOF University for the internship, now there is the benefits are now so commonly known amongst all the students that we do get a lot of calls, requests from parents and students that can't you enhance the capacity of students visiting HOF? Why can't our students also get into it, and so on. So this is news, or this proves that students who go to HOF come back to us after finishing their internships, after 6 months of internships, they have benefited and they have spread the word of the benefits that they have had being at HOF University. Second, the program that VU has been running with HOF University on sustainability and water, I think so that program has evolved very well. It is appreciated overall amongst the industry people from Pune. It is appreciated by students, and I'm sure that even the government of India has shown a lot of appreciation for the program. So I'm sure that this program and the enrollments for this program will only grow further. I only wish to convey that we are in Pune, which is, as I understand from Mr. Nan just now, an important part of the German presence in India. We have so many manufacturing units from Germany based out of Pune. We have a lot of good relationships. One great relationship that we are so proud of is with Vilo. Mr. Bartway is over here. I only wish that I wish to reach out to all the industries over here from Germany, from India, that now I think industry-academia relationships are evolved enough that we can take some more risk than before to collaborate. We have a proven model of Vilo. I think so we have been talking about it a lot, but still let me take this opportunity to talk one more time about it, where Vilo has established a center of excellence in water treatment, water management at a university campus. A lot of equipment has been funded by Vilo on that. Students, faculty have been continuously working on various research projects, and as I understand of late, we have also collaborated with Vilo to establish a joint IPR policy, wherein a new technology will be jointly patented between Vilo and VU, which means the industry and academia. We hear about these things very commonly when we travel to the US or when we travel to Europe and Germany. I think we have started this in Pune and VU, but it has to scale up. And this scaling up can happen if there is trust. And the first trust has to be shown by the industry. So I urge industries to come forward, throw their research, throw their challenges, throw research ideas to us. We are a safe platform for research because we have all rights to fail. Please throw your research challenges to us, throw your problem statements to us. Students, faculty would love to work on it. We will professionally manage it so that deliveries, timelines, quality are done, IPR is created, and the company benefits out of the entire process. I also, before I end, would like to urge the consulate and my German friends over here. I personally am seeing a lot of trend among students to go to Germany. Increasingly, in the last 5 years, for undergraduate as well as postgraduate studies. This trend was largely monopolized towards the US. Of late, in the last 5 years, I see so many students wanting to go to Germany to study even after 12, which is 12th grade for undergraduate, because we all have so much respect for German technology and German universities. So I only request the German universities to be more receptive towards Indian students. One small request, also start a few more courses in English language, because that helps us and helps our students, and also create a more vibrant ecosystem over there for providing these students with internships and work opportunities. I once again welcome all the dignitaries over here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for giving a peep into the India partnership landscape at you. Now I would like to invite the President of HOF University of Applied Sciences Germany, Professor Dr. Jürgen Lehmann, for his address.
Excellency, honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'm really proud to be here. Why? I'm coming to India for 20 years now, and first to VIT, now to the EU for more than 10 years. And it's more than a partnership, it's a friendship. And that's why I'm so proud that it works very well. It's not only depending on me or Siddharth or other people, it's depending on the young people, on the young professors who are responsible for this success. And I hope that we find first steps. Now we have education. Next step could be research on the field of water, for example, on the field of energy. We're in the same boat here in India, in Germany, in Europe. We also lack of water in my country. A little bit different from India, of course, but we have to find new solutions. The lack of energy, the lack of raw materials. And these are all fields where we can build bridges between the young people in India, in Germany, and that's the future for us, for the world. These bridges are important. I came to my university one day, I've resided for 20 years now, and the main goal was working with young people. And for me, that's excellent to see what is happening here, which kind of chance we have. Thank you very much here that we have the chance to be here, to have this new building that's really, really unique. Nobody in my country, in Bavaria, has a similar object, a similar chance in India. My conviction about India, my vision of India, and the collaboration with India is very, very old. But I believe it's important for us in Europe to collaborate with India. That's the future for us. And step by step, I guess, even in the German policy, we conceive that India is a little bit more important, very important of course, than other countries. So I hope that we have the possibility with all these young people, and I'm really happy to see some of you here in this group, among all these friends, and we have a good discussion afterwards, which kind of wishes you have, the direction for Germany. And maybe an example for water. We have a research program, a very new research program called Sponsored Region, for example. That means that we prepare the soil somehow, that the water, it's in the winter we have a little bit more, to be soaked up and then given back to the surrounding, the forest and so on. And that could be maybe a project in the collaboration with this university. It's an excellent university, and I hope we find a lot of different possibilities in energy, for example. We have such a lot of sun here. Last week I've been in the United States. I was a little bit disappointed in comparison to India. Plastic bags, oh, you can imagine. Yeah, if you want to buy a bottle, with bags for that, plastic. No solar panels and so on. And that's a big difference. I've seen what happened here in India for a long, long time. And yesterday being at a summit in Bangalore, I've seen which kind of startups there are. What the young people have these ideas. And please, Indian young people, come to Germany, influence my young people. Because they sometimes a little bit land to go for a new startup. But we need it. It's necessary that we learn from your country as well. You have an excellent culture. I've been in England for a long time, I mentioned it. My first trip to India was 45 years ago. And that influenced me, that influenced my family. And so you see, I'm really, really convinced, and I've seen a lot in this world, that India should be the most important partner for Germany, for Europe, and of course this smaller partnership between the EU and HOF University is a tiny step, a very important step for the future. So I invite you all, coming to Germany, coming to HOF University, see what has happened there. We have around 800 Indian students that the second most Indian student number we have in Bavaria, for example. And I hope that all the experiences at my university influence these young people, and these are the stones for the next years. Thank you very much for this possibility again. It's a wonderful chance for us, and I hope we can give a little bit back from our side. Thanks, Tom, for that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your kind words. Now we would like to extend our gratitude by felicitating our guests. I would like to request Shubhata Agarwal to felicitate our guests. Please join us in the dais, sir. Sir, I would like to felicitate His Excellency Consul General of the Federal Republic of Germany in Mumbai, Mr. Ajit Sir. Next, we would like to felicitate Dr. Jürgen Lehmann. So we are presenting this nib. It is designed by our faculty and students from design department. It is made from bamboo, which represents sustainability and also the spirit of education at the same time. Thank you, sir. Next, we would like to felicitate Ms. Denise from Indo-German Chamber of Commerce. So, the coat, which is also called as the sheefer, it represents, sheefer and the shawl represents the warmth and the respect that we have for our guests. Next, we would like to felicitate Ms. Girija Joshi from DAAD, German Academic Exchange Service. Thank you so much, ma'am. Next, we would like to felicitate Mr. Hemant Patik, Managing Director, Willow Matters Platforms Private Limited. Thank you so much. Next, we would like to move to the inauguration of this state-of-the-art satellite center. I would request His Excellency Consul General of the Federal Republic and Managing Director, BDMA India, Mr. Rajesh Nath, to do the honors. Sincere apologies from my side. We actually missed out on Ms. Karna. We would like to felicitate Mr. Rajesh Nath, Managing Director of VTMA India. Thank you, sir, for joining us. Please accept your applause. Thank you so much. Now I would like to invite Managing Director of VTMA, Mr. Rajesh Nath, to deliver the sessions.
So friends, at the outset, today being Engineers Day, let me convey my best wishes to all the engineers present here. And I came across this phrase which I found very interesting. Scientists dream about great things, and it's the engineers who do it actually. So best wishes to all of you on the occasion of Engineers Day. So good afternoon, friends. Good afternoon, Council General Mr. Hakim Fabik. Also best wishes to Shri Bharat Agarwal, President Vishwakarma University, Professor Dr. Eugen Lehmann, President of the HOF University of Applied Science, all dignitaries on the dais as well as off the dais. On occasion of this inauguration of the joint showroom of Vishwakarma University together with the HOF University of Applied Science, best wishes to all the dignitaries, and also I would like to convey my best wishes to the students of both university who will actually benefit from this endeavor, friends. And I think this is certainly a good example of Indo-German collaboration in the education sector, and a proud moment for all connected with the Indo-German fraternity. So congratulations again to Vishwakarma University and HOF University of Applied Science. Friends, I would like to begin my speech with a quote from the famous German Indologist and one of the founders of the Western academic field of Indian studies, Friedrich Max Müller. And he said, if I were to be asked under which sky the human mind has fully developed some of its choicest gift and has deeply pondered on some of the greatest problems of life, I would point to India. So India is a country which has found solution to some of the greatest problems. And I think our rich history, our rich culture, our rich heritage is an example of that, friends. When we talk about the Indo-German collaborations, friends, the diplomatic collaboration between India and Germany, in fact last year we celebrated 70 years of this diplomatic collaboration. However, the ties go more than 500 years back, and both countries have cooperated on a number of issues, right from machinery to space science up to marine science. In fact, diplomatic relations between India and Germany were established between Nehru and Adenauer. And there is a historical background. When Pandit Nehru visited Germany in 1956, he talked about the possibility with Chancellor Adenauer. And what was the outcome of this discussion, friends? Germany provided economic aid to India, and one of the steel plants, one of the major steel plants in India, the Rourkela steel plant, was built with German aid, financial aid as well as technical aid. Germany also contributed to the setting up of the Indian Institute of Technology, Madras or Chennai. And many of the cultural institutes, Max Müller Bhavan, in fact, we are proud to have the Max Müller Bhavan here in Pune also. And this was, I think, the development of this discussion that took place way back in 1951. And friends, as Professor Lehman and also Mr. Agarwal rightly said, I think innovation should be the basis of the new partnership between India and Germany. Germany's engineering expertise with India's strength in information technology. I think this creates actually natural synergies for collaboration in the field of innovation. In fact, friends, one can't marvel between the similarities between Sanskrit and German. And although the distance between these two countries is many thousands of kilometers, one can easily detect and discover the linguistic and etymological affiliations. And I would like to perhaps share a couple of examples for the benefit of our audience here. One, understand that the Aryan knowledge of horses, horsemanship, and the spoke wheel chakra was certainly technological state of art around 4 millennia ago. So we're talking about time, almost if you could say time immortal, and that time also India had this knowledge. This technological leadership translated into astounding language similarities. The Sanskrit word for chariot, Ratha, re-emerges with the German Rad or wheel. Then when we talk about axle, axle in Sanskrit led to the German axle, which is also used in the figurative sense of a close union and alliance. Unlike many other languages, both Sanskrit and German have all three genders, masculine, feminine, and neutral. Also, when we talk, friends, about, I think in the earlier speakers had mentioned about the friendship between Pune and Germany. I think Mr. Agarwal also spoke about that. Although, friends, the two cities are 7,200 kilometers apart, but there is a very strong historical connect between Pune and Germany, which maybe some of the young students may not be knowing, and I would just like to highlight that. Pune is a city where around more than 1,000 Germans live and work here in this city. This includes the expats, their families, volunteers, and students. So it is one of the largest, I think, when you look at the German population in India. Pune would qualify as the city having one of the largest German population in India. And this strong connect between Pune and Germany goes back to 1914, when the first German language department was established at the Pune University, and the University of Bombay opened their gates. And it's not the language alone that attracted Germans towards this city, but also the rich culture of Pune. And in fact, this was part of the Pune-Bremen partnership. And in fact, here in Pune, you have the Bremen Chowk also renowned. I don't know maybe if some of the young people here have seen that, but if you have not seen it, please visit that Bremen Chowk. Further, the city of Karlsruhe also became a partner city to Pune a few years ago. So this deep connect between Pune and Germany has flourished in the last 2 decades. Especially, we have seen a lot of German industry, and I represent the German engineering industry, the association PDMA, which is the Association of German Machinery and Plant Manufacturers. And we have a very strong connect or presence of the German engineering industry here in the city of Pune. And friends, I think what is very interesting, of course, the large names everybody knows. But beyond the large companies, there is a good presence of the so-called German Mittelstand, which is the backbone of the German industry. And we are very proud that these companies are present here, also with the manufacturing facilities. However, friends, let's just look at the prevailing scenario, the economic and industrial scenario. There is a saying, very popular saying, I think, which has really which perhaps now we realize the true sense. There are decades where nothing happens, and there are weeks where decades happen. And that's what we have actually felt and experienced in the last 2 years with the onset of pandemic. And I think it was for the first time that it's not only one particular region that was impacted, but globally one could see the impact of the pandemic that has happened. In fact, one of the most endearing episodes of the epic Mahabharata, let's come a little bit to our Indian culture also, is that of Abhimanyu and the historic battle to break the Chakravyuh. Have some of the young students heard about this? Abhimanyu, Mahabharata. Okay. Now, while we celebrate the valor of Abhimanyu, we ignore one of the important lessons in this story. And this is, do not enter a Chakravyuh if you don't know how to exit from it. And unfortunately, India's situation when the pandemic started was also something like this. We went into one of the most stringent or one of the most strictest lockdown in the world. And then actually we struggled for several months to come out of this lockdown. So the two successive pandemic years have severely impacted economy globally. But India took a different path when we were coming out of the pandemic. And in fact, instead the government opted for targeting expenditure on job-oriented schemes. So there were a lot of schemes where the government really pumped in money for infrastructure development. And this was very important because when there was no activity going on, industrial activity was zero. All other commercial activities were curtailed because of the pandemic. Because of the investment of the Indian government in infrastructure projects, it led to a lot of job employment or job creation. And this is one of the reasons also, friends, that in India, in fact, if you remember during the pandemic, some of the faculty members would surely recall, our rural economy grew very well. And that helped India largely to overcome this pandemic situation. Now, as a country, we have a lot of hope. We have a lot of future. We say the demographical advantage India has. India has a young population, and some of the young population here have aspirations. How can these aspirations be fulfilled? Good education, and I think here compliments to Vishwakarma University as well as the endeavor of the HOF University to provide world-class education to the students. And the other aspect is, you have good education. What is the next stage? Mr. Agarwal, these young students who come out of the university require jobs. And we are not talking of any jobs. We are talking about value-added jobs, because it's not any sort of jobs that these young students would do. And how do you create these value-added jobs? If we look at our GDP distribution, and a very interesting fact, Professor Lehman, I don't know if you've been coming to India very often, but this is a very interesting aspect or fact of Indian economy. Almost 50% of our working class population, Professor Lehman, is employed in agriculture. The contribution of agriculture to the GDP of the country is only 17%. So what does that mean? That means the remaining 50% or 45% of the working class population has to contribute 83% to our GDP. Now this is a tall order, and we have young graduates coming. We need to create we say almost 1 million jobs every month or 10 million jobs every year. So the role of the service sector, when we look at the IT industry, they have been really being the backbone of the growth of the GDP in India. But now is the larger vision of our Honorable Prime Minister, making India 2.0. And that is what we are looking at. How can the contribution of manufacturing industry increase in GDP? Because manufacturing industry has the capability and potential to provide jobs, which is very essential for our country today. And that is why in the larger scheme we are talking about the increment of contribution of manufacturing in GDP of our country from 17 to 18% up to 25%. To make and enable India to become a $5 trillion economy, we are talking about contribution of manufacturing to about $1 trillion. So that's why manufacturing in our country is very important, and this can be one of the driving force to creating new jobs. Now friends, you would have seen the GDP quarterly figures that came out. India had a growth of 13.5%, which is phenomenal considering that most of the global economies are shrinking or undergoing a difficult period. But though the economic signals are positive, I think we need to tread with caution, since growth is very nebulous and must not be taken for granted. I think it has, not since World War II, as the present crisis and the pandemic, then we have the Ukraine-Russian crisis, this has really impacted us. And I think we are in a situation now where presently we are seeing Europe, for example, Professor Lehman, before we were discussing, spoke about the energy crisis that is prevailing in Europe and how Europe needs to come out of this energy crisis. Luckily in India, our situation is better. Of course, our dependency on fossil fuel is very high. And our challenge would be, our Honorable Prime Minister had spoken about becoming a zero-emission country by 2070, with almost 60% of energy coming from fossil fuel presently. This journey of ours is going to be a difficult journey. But of course, there is a lot of focus of the government on renewable energy. And I think this can really help us as we move towards the zero emission. So friends, I would just like to end with a quote from the late Queen Elizabeth II. And I think especially for our young population, the young friends who are sitting behind, when life seems hard, the courageous do not lie down and accept defeat. Instead, they are more determined to struggle for a better future. And this would be my piece of suggestion also, or advice to our young students here, how they can take their life forward. Also friends, I'm sure this joint showroom, which is the starting point of the Center of Excellence, will serve as a platform for future projects between Vishwakarma University and the HOF University of Applied Science. And I think this will also go a long way in strengthening this collaboration. Mr. Vatwa was mentioning about the strong collaboration of industry and academia. And I think this is very important that the industry and academia come together so that such endeavors, such examples are multiplied in other parts of India also. Because the ultimate benefit will be the students, and through the students, when they mature, when they come to the industry, it is going to be the industry who will actually benefit from such endeavors and collaboration. I'm sure this exchange program also offers possibilities for the students to experience the best of the two countries. What I read that the students also go to Germany and spend 2 semesters in Germany. So certainly the students will experience the best of India as well as of Germany. So friends, on behalf of the German Engineering Federation, BDMA, what I represent, wishing this collaboration a lot of success, and I'm sure this is just the starting point. We will see much more happening on this front. And Mr. Agarwal, if as the Industrial Association, as the German Industrial Association, if we can attract our companies here towards this pool of talent that is available, that would be our humble endeavor. So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you so much, sir, for almost taking us so meticulously through the history of German Connect with India, especially with Pune, and how we can strengthen that in the present for a better future. Thank you so much, sir. I would like to invite His Excellency Consul General, Mr. Arjun Pape, to share his thoughts on this occasion.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Shri. Just changing the sounds. Thank you, Shri Agarwal. Thank you, Professor Neyman.